Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Turn the Page, the channel that brings you biblical truth through fact and fiction. Today's focus is going to be fiction. In this Fiction Friday installment, I've got a very special announcement to make, so make sure that you stick around to the end to get all the information. Let's get into it. Hey, and welcome to a very special Fiction Friday. The book that you see over here is sent to the editor. So we are extremely close to being able to see this in print, and that is only a good thing. So to celebrate that, I've prepared a presentation of Chapter 1 of this book to kind of give you a taste of what's to come. Also, my oldest daughter is making her debut as a voice actor in that video, so make sure you show her some love in the comments. Let me know what you think about the chapter in the comments, and then stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you how you can follow the journey and make sure that you do not miss the release of Dream Warrior.
Oppressive mist swirled on every side, making it impossible to see more than a couple of feet in front of her. She could feel the warmth of a bright light shining on her back in stark contrast to the cold void of darkness drawing her forward. The compulsion to walk into the darkness was strong, yet she stayed where she was to keep the cold at bay. The warmth was nice after all, why not soak in it before venturing forward? One step forward was as far as she travelled before a soft, almost inaudible voice called to her. It sounded as if it was coming from the source of the light, and the message was simple. Don't go that way. Turn toward me and follow my voice. She paused and made a half turn in the direction of the voice. It was blinding in her peripheral vision, but felt so good. She raised her hand to shield her eyes and began to turn her body toward the light. That's when the other voice spoke to her from the darkness. She froze. You're going to listen to that old fool? You really desire the darkness. It fascinates you, thrills you. Come to me and let me show you all that you desire. This voice was louder, bold and smooth, yet there was a bite to the words. Alarm bells rang in her head, but the desire was so strong to follow the last voice that she was ready to brave the cold. The light slowly faded as she took her first steps toward the darkness. Vestiges of the words, "Don't go that way," clung to her memory even as the cold washed over her, numbing her senses. She stopped walking. The acrid taste of fear on her tongue grew so strong that she thought she would be sick. She spun around to make her way back to the light and the warmth it promised, but was met with a twisted iron gate blocking her path. She grabbed the cold black metal and pulled herself closer. The once warm and bright light was now a pinprick in the distance. However, she thought she could still hear the soft voice calling to her, "Follow my voice." But it was so hard to hear, and she was so cold that it was becoming difficult to move at all. How can I follow your voice with the gate blocking my path? The words were difficult to get out. They were thick in her mouth and stuck to her tongue. She wasn't sure if she could even be heard, or if she had spoken at all. Something was wrong. The darkness behind her grew even darker as she felt a presence approaching her. She felt small in comparison to the immense shadow that was passing over her as this unseen stalker grew closer. The cold was increasing. Breathing became difficult as the air felt like it was freezing in her lungs. All she could do was reach through the gate and stretch her hand toward the light. Icy fingers wrapped around her other arm and she was jerked away from the gate with a violence she had never felt before. Pain shot through her arm as the bone became dislocated from the socket. She didn't have the breath to cry out in pain, so the pain was released in silent tears staining her face. The grip on her arm grew impossibly tight, and the bold, smooth voice from before began speaking to her again. This time was different though. This time it made her skin crawl with fear rather than thrill. It took on a tone of harshness and sounded like many voices speaking at once. The voice had become a chorus of horror.
You fool. You could have turned away and never entered this abyss of damnation. The choice was yours alone. You chose me, and now you're mine.
She was being spun around to face the owner of the horrific voice. Out of sheer terror, she forced her eyes shut from fear of what she would see. She knew this was the end. She just didn't want to see it.
All right, well, that is it for Chapter 1. I hope you guys enjoyed that and that you found yourself needing to know what happens next. If you are a fan of good, clean fiction without all of the sex and the profanity that's getting shoved into everything produced nowadays, if that's you, you can go to my website that's down at the bottom of this video and sign up for the newsletter. I'll keep you up to date as the journey progresses for the Dream Warrior. This is the beginning of the Ashwood Chronicles. As you can see there on the cover, this is an Ashwood Chronicles story. So this is the very first book that's going to set you up to be able to transition right into my Ashwood Chronicles series that will probably release the first book sometime next year. You can also follow me on my social links here. I'm RL Smith on Facebook. You've got the TikTok handle, and I am also on Patreon. So your support is very appreciated. I've got tiers as low as $5 a month and going on up. And any amount helps. It helps me to continue doing what I do. I'll be able to keep writing, be able to keep producing video content for my channel here. Your support goes a long way in that. And if Patreon's something that you're not able to do or something that you're not willing to do, a lot of people, they don't do monthly support. I understand that. You can always support me just by liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and then hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Also, guys, sharing this video with people who enjoy this type of book will go a long way. So make sure you do that. I'm super proud of my daughter and the job that she did there with the reading of the chapter. So again, make sure to show her some love in the comments. And real quick, when you do go to the website, you can also have a link to get an awesome t-shirt like this with the biblical cosmology model on it. There you go. You can kind of see it now. As well as other t-shirts and merchandise that I have available. That's another great way to support what I do. So I'm going to get out of here and let you guys get back to the rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.